Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flux, here with another one of my Godzilla retrospective reviews, this time of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. This is one of the later Heisei era films, and what I like most about these Heisei era movies is that they took the monsters from the Showa era films and found a way to uniquely update them. Some of them turned out better than others. I really responded well to what they've done with Godzilla in these first 5 films at this point, and I liked what they did with Ghidorah. Mothra didn't change too terrible much, but I was most impressed with what they did with Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla in the original series of films was just a robot controlled by alien forces from on high, and whatnot. And like, he's always been cool, a cool monster, but like, go back to my review. It's a soft recommendation, if that. I like what they did with this movie. That said, I feel like budgetary constraints and sort of like the urgency to pump out these movies is catching up, because the careful construction that was Return of Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Biollante is kind of lapsing with each subsequent installment after Biollante, when they started releasing them year after year after year. But I digress. I like what they did with Mechagodzilla here by making him the hero. He's historically been the villain, the nemesis of Godzilla, but Godzilla remains the nemesis of this story, and they take story elements from several of the previous films, starting with those first 2 movies, Biollante especially, where they have the G-Force set to attack Godzilla, and how these ships and their weapons are growing and expanding to the point they become their own kaiju monster. And it tickles me that this came out around the same year as Power Rangers, because you have a very Power Ranger-y story. You have the G-Force warriors who band together within the Mechagodzilla in order to have like their Megazord battle with Godzilla. But it's not only Godzilla that's in this story. We also get Rodan, or as they call him repeatedly in this film, Radon. And that was bothering me that they kept calling him Radon, until I found out through my research that his name has always been Radon, and this is the only movie that gets it correctly. Rodan is incorrect. So the more you know. I like what they did with him, just sort of making him a like prehistoric dinosaur pteranodon that expanded to unusual size because of the cosmic radiation that affected Godzilla himself. So that was neat. This film also, it Ewoks itself, or I guess a more common one is it porgs itself, but I like the porgs, so I'm going to reel that back. But this movie features baby Godzilla hatchling, and well, all of the baby Godzilla stuff is handled better, arguably, than Son of Godzilla and its sequels from the Showa era. It's still never not annoying, and I grew an appreciation of Son of Godzilla and its sequels because of my daughter, who loved Minya. I always disliked him as a wee one, and her love of that character kind of made me be affectionate towards him. Seeing him in this one, again, I like that it looks more like a Godzilla, but it's just a touch too cute for my taste. Yeah, but the streamlined story that sort of like is unnecessarily long, and the film is like also like really poorly lit, to the point where it's like, I feel like they could only afford to shoot at night, so that way they didn't have to regulate lighting. Or they had a baked-in regulation of light, and they didn't have to do as much work. They made it. They found ways to make this film cheaper, but it kind of shows. And it could be that it's the special effects for Mechagodzilla were so costly. The laser breath, all the bells and whistles that Mechagodzilla does in this film are genuinely impressive. It's just done against a black backdrop the entire time, that there's sort of a sameness to all of the scenes with the monsters in it that makes it kind of void of energy. But by and large, I like this movie. I do think it's probably the weakest of the Heisei era films so far, which is disappointing because they had such a tremendous start. I'm looking forward to watching the next one, which is Space Godzilla, another movie I've yet to ever see. However, I've not heard too many good things. We'll see what that yields in next week's episode. But let me know what you thought about Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Does the heroic Mechagodzilla that people pilot like like Zord work for you, or is that something that should stay in this era and never move forward? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.